Members Hub. This will be released to the main platform. So those of you that view this later, you may see the members chat if anyone's alive in the house. And moreover, this is what we get to experience here and there when YILDIZ is extremely unorganised after the full moon in Virgo. So how have we been coping with this transit? I did read a few of the chats that were in the community tab and on videos, and you know, it was really divine feminine, feeling a little bit disillusioned, which is perfectly normal. I did a little bit of a mini chat on Facebook today and really talking about the energy of Virgo. Had a chat to True Heart as well this morning, and you know, talked about some of the predictions that I was picking, only because something was really connecting to her. So it was like I reached out and I had a very brief chat with her. But we're going to check in with Divine Masculine, and we're going to see what the energy is for this last week moving into April, and what we can expect with Divine Masculine. I do feel a lot of them also are going to be feeling pretty tired, very reflective. The emotion has been quite high, actually, so it has been very, how could you put it? One could say one moment it's quite, you know, plateaued, quite accepting. We're really listening to our bodies. The other can be very down, melancholy, and really focused on the future, but trying to maintain those happy endorphins. Virgo also, with the post-Virgo energy, the other thing that you can get is that you may find there's certain things that you can do and certain things that you can't. I really feel Divine Masculine at the moment, through their ascension symptoms, are looking at that. They're looking at their wellness, they're looking at their diet, self-esteem relating to such can be coming up, and directly healthy boundaries, especially within the karmic cycle. Let's have a look what's coming up in the cards. And I was supposed to put a community post up in my members, but I've been chasing my tail lately, so we'll see. Getting back on top of things as we move into the month of April. Okay, we are going to have an extension to this, so if you do jump on, you can jump into the members and come see the extension. Okay, they are very focused at the moment on destiny. Now, there might have been a tower, because we do have the crowning energy as the star. I feel for some of them, you know, this could have been emotional related, it could have been physical. So what I'm sensing in the mix of it is their intuition is trying to focus on the bigger picture. Now, again, because their energy does link to Jupiter, it is to do with expansion and growth. This can be recovery after a tower moment. This can be the thought of, okay, wanting to go to their destiny, what direct steps they'll need to take. It's a very rational, logical way of being. I do feel a lot of base chakra coming through, so I'm sensing at a foundation level it can be associated with family, environment, wellness, and co-creativity. We do have the karmic card coming up here at the minute, so it could be a karmic individual that they're directly dealing with currently in the mix of things. I feel that they're changing their approach and the circumstances, how they're handling it. And I did mention back in the previous read, their energies were looking at a potential of actually returning to karmic habits, karmic cycles. Doesn't mean that these individuals went back into a romantic connection. Not necessarily. I feel it's more from a healing point and a viewing point, through the looking glass, so to speak, of what they would need to do. So this on a 3D may be that the person is psychologically looking at life and reflecting back. On the other, for some, it can be that they returned to communicate with an individual, to heal a path, but also to look at the shadow energy of such. I feel overall, with the way they're viewing this, it might have been empathy, guilt, but it also might have been due to a codependent frequency within their life. But this could have also been, again, a family-related dynamic, potentially manipulation coming from a karmic cycle, but definitely kind of feeling as though they needed to address these things. Could there have been conflict? Yes, and I do feel some of them have been viewing this. So even if they did do this on a kind of psychological kind of frame, they're seeing the yin to the yang of circumstances. They're seeing the blockages that were in their path, what they needed to do to move beyond a situation, to free themselves from a circumstance, and what their true north, so to speak, was going to be in the mix of this star. I feel for some, if they did return to a karmic situation, they're kind of seeing a pattern again. So it's almost like giving them a lot of closure. I feel if this was mainly based on a communication sense, maybe an adverse situation happened with the karmic individual and they were pulled back into the circumstance. It's given them a 101 of the circumstance, and it's also given them a lot of closure that this, in fact, is a cycle that could potentially repeat if it was to remain. I feel they're being quite rational with it. I don't feel they're looking at it, you know, with the rose-colored glasses. I feel there's a lot of acceptance here. I also feel, again, that there might have been an entanglement at a financial level. For some, if this is family, because karmic energies don't have to be romantic partners, sometimes they can be jobs, memories. It depends on what's coming up in the individual's chart. I'm sensing that, you know, for some it could have been a family-related dynamic. They're going back down lineage lane. Some of the wounds relating to mother-father energy can be coming up, and disputes, especially to do with legacies. I feel with this in the mix being push-pulled, it's almost like they felt as though they were going, you know, one step forward, 20 steps back. This was not of choice. This was of circumstance. I also feel in the past, you know, where these circumstances were manipulating. Hi, Sweet. I've only just started. Where these circumstances that were making them feel as though they were manipulated in this situation, whatever this family-related dynamic is, be it it's, okay, I need to return home. Maybe there's a tribe. Maybe there's a mother-father energy. It could be at a location. For some, it could have been a karmic individual, a direct family. Regardless of whatever this is, I do feel this individual is actually looking at this circumstance in a very singular manner. It's not just a one-sided situation at the moment. It's very much personal to them, and, you know, how they're feeling in the mix. I honestly feel whatever this was, it was money related. I feel somebody was using old tactics to actually manipulate the situation around. For some, there may be, you know, finances at mix. How do I put it? What am I saying here? I'm going to pull a clarify because there's two storylines coming through. For some, it may be that this circumstance relating to a karmic cycle was connected to money in some shape or form. It doesn't mean to say, look, we all need money. Let's just be perfectly honest. Eating, sleeping, you know, to survival in life, yes. For some, it may have been, okay, if they were in a karmic relationship, for instance, and there was financial entanglement, again, there was that as a problem. The other can be to do with something happening in family. Again, there could be an asset or something that needs fixing. There also could be an unwell relative in the mix here. I also feel they're wanting to actually leave a legacy behind. I feel they want their life to mean something. I feel that they don't want to leave important energies in their life behind, and they're definitely focused on the star, which is actually showing me that whatever they're moving away from is the tower, and what they're moving towards is their intuition, really showing them the light of what the future is going to be. So, like I said, they're having a 101. They're seeing both sides of the fence here. They're really looking at the reality of what the karmic cycle was, who these individuals mean to them and what they directly are. They have accepted the fact that some of these cycles are energetically going to come to an end, and that may be due to age, wellness, etc. The other can be because the cycle has ended and acceptance has come. I do feel if somebody was manipulating them and trying to give them a good deal in some shape or form, they're not letting anyone pull the wool over their eyes, and they do feel they see the falsity in the situation. They're also finding different avenues at the moment that they can actually find brand new solutions to a circumstance, so they're not feeling blocked in and stuck in a codependent cycle. At a base level, I feel they were trying to work with this so it would ease the flow. I do feel there, some of them may be looking at different contracts. Some of them, again, I'm seeing, they just keep saying it's like there is a solution to a problem that they're currently dealing with. Whatever this is, I do feel in the mix of it, they are thinking about divine feminine. They're thinking about what a commitment looks like. The crazy thing is, they're kind of saying that they always knew this. They always knew that this would be a good mix. They always knew you would be the person that they would end up with. They do feel ultimately all of this dynamic up here has caused a lot of issues, but there could have been a legal entanglement. Now, this legal entanglement might have been some paperwork that they needed to sign. It might have been, like I said, like I'm seeing here, family-related dynamic, and for another group. So there's kind of three groups playing out here at the moment. One is a family-related dynamic, mother-father energy. Maybe an unwell relative. It could be that they cared for this individual, or something is playing out where they need to directly go and close that cycle out. The other is workplace. I'm seeing one theme coming through, which is workplace, maybe stuck in an environment, decided that they were going to change, but there is something in the mix to do with signing, to do with location and living. But also that they've found somehow a different way that they can achieve this, and it isn't a healthier way. I do feel there might have been, with these subject matters that I'm discussing at the moment, manipulation, maybe offers, little offers coming through that was going to help them maybe get instant gratification, but they actually saw both sides of the fence and what the potential was if they took that route. I do see another potential where for some, which I did mention this during the month, there was a potential post-Mercury direct that some of them may have returned to a karmic situation. I'm not feeling it's at a romantic level. I feel it's at a communication closure level. And this again did the same thing as what I'm seeing here in a theme sense, which has really cleared it out. So I do feel they've actually seen both sides of the fence. It's given them a lot of peace and closure, and it's reached this acceptance that some of these dynamics do have very manipulative individuals at hand, especially for those individuals that left a workplace. I feel they've really come to terms with it and realised the writing was on the wall and something needed to be addressed. So these contracts are really being addressed at this point, and I do feel they're really moving into it with brute force. I feel if people aren't respecting their point of view this week, I do feel they can get quite grumpy. These individuals can be getting quite snappy. If people are pushing them to do something that they're not happy with, I feel they can be quite abrupt, and they are really using their power. So I don't think they're taking any crap this week. Well, that's positive. Okay. Okay, I feel in the mix they've actually made a decision, and they are owning their power, and they're copying it sweet. They're kind of moving into it. They're going, okay, this is where I stand. This is how I feel. This is what I want to. This is what I want to address. And I feel they're actually addressing some of these contracts. And again, I'm seeing paperwork involved, especially at post-moon in Virgo. It is very analytical. And if these things drove us crazy, especially divine masculine, whenever we get the star card, we know a tower's gone down. We definitely have the karmic energy coming up here in the read. It's very icy. It's very cold. It's almost completely closed out. The demeanor I'm getting, they're really looking at this work, and they're putting a lot of effort into things that they have control over. They're not leaving everything to chance. I feel that they're actually, you know, if somebody's really pushing them and trying to manipulate their value system, funny enough, I do believe, because Jupiter is in the house of Pisces, which is very 12th house. They're just not taking that. They're not looking at it like, yeah, okay, you can tell me a white lie, a porcupine, and I'll believe it. They're actually directly seeing the manipulation at hand. Hi, sweet. Of how this is playing out. So I just don't feel they're not seeing the writing on the wall in this circumstance. Okay, let's have a look deeper. Okay, what does Divine Feminine need to know? We're going to go deep into the extension. I'm saying this to be very positive. I want to ask, okay, wait a minute. Let's see where communication's at before all Divine Feminines kind of come and kill me. I'll ask where communication's at, which I do feel quite positive that this healing with the moon in Virgo, it has been quite an emotional time. I feel that the communication style, it's like, you know, they're trying to be very fair in the mix of things. I do feel the kind of saying, especially with these two cards coming through, that many of them are dealing with this karmic cycle. Many of them are dealing with contract-related dynamics. Oh, thanks, sweet. And what they're saying is, when it does come to a balance, they do feel that once they feel a little bit more balanced after this adversity in this Tower moment, and also between signing a contract, closing a contract out, they do feel that they're going to be more able to give you everything that you need. And this is really where they want to stand. They don't want to come to you with dishwater, so to speak. They want to know very transparently that they're coming with a solid offer. Okay, what else do we need to know? I don't know why I find that card exciting. Okay, we're going to tune into this. Yeah, it's almost like self-esteem based. They're really not wanting to, Aries and Chiron kind of makes you deal with things on your own. It makes you deal with these things, especially for those of you that can reach communication, can move into that stage of union. What you're going to find is they're more inclined to complete some of those chapters with the things that you asked them to achieve, so that they can actually honor that contract inside themselves. And it's like Mario Brothers. You know, we skip a step, we have to go backwards. If we deal with the circumstance, we close that cycle out, we then don't have to repeat it. And I think over the years of me on my journey, it was like, I'm tired of the eat, pray, repeat. I'm going to learn this bloody lesson. I'm not going to do it again so I can move on to the next chapter. Because I did honestly see, in a pattern sense, when I was avoiding things, it would always come back. So this is the energy that's coming through for Divine Masculine at the moment. They're very darn honestly saying they don't want to have to go through this crap again. So they're trying to do it correctly. Let's see the card. Too many. We're going to put it back in and shuffle. That's a whole bloody new reading down there on the floor. Okay, so look, they don't want to open up about it because they want to actually come towards you with balance. So they're not kind of coming to you and, you know, being all, okay, you know, I'm holding my heart at bay. No, I'm going to be very transparent with you. I'm coming to terms with these emotions of the past. They're wanting to bring you the fairness. I do feel any recipe you gave them, and I don't know what they mean by recipe. It could be a manuscript. I literally just looked at my printer paperwork, and it literally felt like you gave them the 101 PDF of what would need to happen. They kind of know these things. So in a very balanced approach, they're taking steps. They also, at a very personal level, know what works and know what doesn't. So they're attempting to kind of shift some of those circumstances. Okay, what should Divine Feminine know for this week, please, relating to Divine Masculine? What can you expect? You can expect a lot more movement. You can expect cycles moving pretty quick. Yeah, talk to him too much. You're a dog. I am opening this up to the main page. You realise that. So just remember. Okay, they know down on it. You can't come. They can't come with BS, okay? It's like even the small stuff is fine. Okay, some of them are a little bit cautious. Some of them are a little bit like, okay, has Divine Feminine moved on? I feel some of them are waiting. Some of them are waiting to get this done. It's making them anxious. They're kind of freaking out that, hey, if I don't hurry up, potentially, you know, how am I going to then lower that guard after all that's gone down? But I also feel even at the smallest gesture, I get it now. Okay, so at the smallest gesture, this is the foundation, the way they're looking at things. They're like, crap, if I don't get this together, if I don't bring the ship full 360 in the time I'm doing such, could Divine Feminine move on? They're looking at it and they're like, this is how I have to come. Balanced, just and fair. Bringing the things of the recipe of the PDF that Divine Feminine gave Divine Masculine. Now, they feel if they don't, they kind of feel they'll be coming in a little bit coy. offering a very slight gesture. Some of them may do this, so here's your 101. If they are and they're asking subliminals and they're looking like they're mucking about, I feel it's more to do with gauging where you're at. So, you know, gauge where it's at, deal with it appropriately. Try to not feel everything's going the same, because in their mindset, they're kind of playing two scenarios out. One is that they come towards you, everything's balanced, they've dealt and they've closed the cycle out. The other is if they come towards you in a self-esteem base, they're feeling insecure, they gauge where you're at, they offer you something subtle to gauge the chemistry, and you believe all they're doing is playing. So I do feel very firmly believing the only way is up from here, and it has to be done correctly. Now we're going to go into the extension. I definitely see some communication here. I see a lot of anxiousness. The plans that they're making at the moment are for solid new beginnings. But overall, I do see this to be a very positive healing week. And I also think they're thinking of the top term end goal of being with Divine Feminine, with it being a solid brand new beginning. Come and see me in the extension. I'll be back in a moment and we will dig deeper into this.